What's going on YouTube? Welcome to my office. Welcome to my channel. I passed FTMO. So let's get into my trading log, the FTMO page, and then I'll also go over a couple of trades that I took. And I think what I want to do with this channel is every week, all the trades that I take, I'll just sum them up in maybe like a PowerPoint presentation, and then I'll present all the trades I've taken, wins, losses, everything, and go over the percentage I made or lost for that week, and I'll just keep growing on that. And let's get into the video. What is FTMO? Well, to simply explain it, FTMO is a prop trading firm that basically funds good traders. So if you pass all their criteria and all their objectives, they will end up funding you to trade with their capital, and they take a percentage of that. So to trade with somebody else's capital, to me, that's a pretty good gig, but I'll take that. So if you're a good trader, I would recommend looking into FTMO if you don't have a lot of capital up front, and if you don't want to use your own capital. It's a good start, right? Like, you can build from that account and start adding, the profits you make from FTMO, you can start putting into your own account, and eventually either, have your account be big enough to where you don't need to use FTMO anymore, or you could have multiple FTMO accounts. So say, for instance, I'm going to pass this one, I'll have $100,000 to trade. I may take it again to see if I get 200, and if I pass that one, I may take it again to see if I get 300. I believe 300,000 is the max, but I'm okay with that. Again, it's trading somebody else's capital, so you can't go wrong with that. Today, I'm going to go over the FTMO website page and where it shows where I passed. The next step for me is to go through the verification process. Me personally, I think that's going to be a little bit easier than the actual challenge. The challenge main objective is you got to make 10% in a month of trading. So that equates to, I believe, 22 trading days in the month, because of weekends, the market's closed. So I think it equates to 22 days. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, something like that. 22. Trading is really about risk management. Can you manage your risks? Are you a good risk manager? You'll see, I'll show you my Excel sheet where I log all my trades. My winning percentage is not very good. Usually it's better. So I have, my regular day trading log. Now I have a separate one that I've been using for FTMO. And the one I've been using for FTMO, my percentage is much less. I believe that's due to, the stress of having to make this amount in this amount of time. And I have changed my trading times. I trade the London session when I'm doing FTMO. I live in California, so I'm waking up at 1:30 a.m. to catch some of the London session. So I'm sure that's another factor of why my percentage is low. It's a little different market I'm trading, but overall and at the end of the day, it worked out, and I am one step closer to having a funded account, one step closer to living my dream. It's just stepping stones to the goal of financial freedom, being able to travel the world, me and my wife, and just enjoy our lives.
What's up, guys? So let's get into the results of my FTMO challenge. So here is my equity curve. Wasn't very pretty, but I was able to get it done. This last trade right here was pretty big trade, $6,600 winner. It was a really good setup. It was actually more risk than I like to take, but it's a good setup. I had a couple days left, so I decided to take a bigger risk, and it paid off. So just want to show you the equity curve here. All the objectives have passed, so it took me 15 days to hit the 10,000. My max loss was 2,200 in a day. This, I kind of don't understand this, but I don't care as long as I didn't lose $10,000 max, and then I hit my profit target on the 15th day. So one thing, it to me is a little misleading in the statistics is the average risk to reward ratio and the win rate. So the reason why the win rate is so high and the risk to reward ratio is so low is because For me, how I trade personally, usually every trade I'll close some partials of the trade just to lock in some gains in case, the trade goes against me and goes the opposite way. I like to lock in some profits just as part of my risk management and my trade management plan that I have for myself. So for me, when trades go to one, I will lock in, or I'm sorry, when trades go to one, I go to break even. Then when it gets to about 1.5, then I close out between a quarter of the profit or 1/5 of the profit, just depending on, I don't know, how I feel. So, yeah, you'll notice a lot of these small wins. These are just break-even trades and closing partials. And then, I have big winners. I only risk 1% per trade in FTMO, so all my losses will average out to about 1,000. But when I win, I get a big win, big win, big win, and then all these small wins just to, mitigate my risk. And that's worked for me. So that's how I trade. So I'll show you my Excel sheet, the one that I actually track and how I track it. So here is my spreadsheet. Every trade that I placed with FTMO is on here. So account size, my risk, and for the last trade, I actually upped this to 2. So that won't reflect here, but I'll show you how I added that to this sheet. So if you'll see, my win percentage was 29%, losses 32%, break even 38%, but I'm still 10% in profit. Like that's just insane if you think about it. So there's a spurt where I had 4 straight losses, and this is when on the FTMO, the equity curve here, this is where I was negative money right at that point, right here. And I was actually kind of discouraged. I had a win. I'm sorry, I had a break even, I had a win. I was like, oh, I'm already up 3,000. This is going to be pretty easy, but it's not the case. If you've traded for any period of time, you know that you're never going to win just a bunch of times in a row, or you will, but that's just, luck usually. You're going to have these streaks where you lose, 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 and break even, break even. This I should have considered a break even because it's not a one-to-one, but it was close enough to where I didn't consider it a break even. And then a break even, very small win, break even, break even, break even, break even, break even, loss, win, win, loss, 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 break even, loss, and then a couple of these two was actually one trade. This is how this last trade I took was a $6,000 winner. It was actually 2% risk, so I just split it into 2 trades. So my winning percentage is actually a little bit lower than this. So that's just to give you guys some insight where my risk, or I'm sorry, my win percentage is extremely low. Not extremely low, like it's enough to keep me positive. And I know, if I keep trading, the numbers are going to play out to where my usual winning percentage, like on my master spreadsheet, this is just for FTO. On my master spreadsheet, my winning percentage is about 35. So I know eventually this is going to play out in my favor, and yeah, I'll be good. And then, so some of these trades, I guess I'll go over. I'll just go over these first 3. I usually, when I trade, I'll log everything and I'll take screenshots of my trades. So far I have been doing it in a PowerPoint, so I can show you guys how I have been doing that. And maybe going forward, I will do the same thing. I'll just try and make it a little bit more detailed. So here's the first trade I took on. Let's put this on another screen so I can see it. So first trade I took was a short on GU. What I saw was obviously this market is in a downtrend. So first I used a 4H, I used a 1H, and then for my entry I either used a 5-minute or 15-minute. So let's close that. It's kind of blinding. Obviously this isn't a downtrend. Anybody can see that. This thing's trading down. So why would I even think about taking a buy? Like that just puts the odds against me if I were to try and take a buy at this stage. So what I was looking for here was there's a very subliminal level right here where you can't really see on the 4H, but you have this break with momentum. You can see it a little more clear on the 1H time frame. So you have this break, and then you have this pullback, and then I'm thinking, you know, a continuation. So that was my thought process here. So if you go down to the 5-minute chart, here's the break, and then you have this bullish phase where, you know, this is a push, exhaustion. I'm thinking this is going to be another push phase. So you have this bullish pressure where it's making higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. If did not make this higher high, so I'm thinking this is your, you know, the depletion of the bullish pressure, and it's going to start pushing back down to the downside. So that was my mindset behind this trade. So it's a sell stop entry. Here's my entry, stop loss above structure. I could have put it, you know, a little bit, or I think my mindset was I placed it above this lower high. I'm not sure why I picked that, but that was what I chose. I could have put it, you know, above this. If this is the lower high, then, you know, theoretically it was just going to keep going down like this. So, but let's see what happens. Oops. Sorry, this isn't TradingView where I could just zoom in. So I got triggered, made a little bit into profit, got 1-to-1, and so it was a break-even trade. So when it gets to 1-to-1, part of my risk management is when trades get to about 1-to-1, break even, move my stop loss to break even. When it gets to 1.5, I close out partials, and then the rest of it I just let it run. And that's why you notice on the FTMO page I had a lot of small wins. So this one was a break-even trade. And let's go to trade number 2. So the 4-hour chart, this is GJ. Obviously clear downtrend. Don't need to know anything else about it. It's just obvious. I should go back to here. You have another subliminal level here. So here's the high, down here is your low, and here's a very small minor level where it's respected. So go down to the hourly time frame. You have your push phase, exhaustion, and wasn't able to push down immediately, but this was what I would have took the first time around, but I missed this. So I was hoping that, you know, it's like come back to this level, respect it, and then start the next phase. So luckily, you know, it came back to this level. So here it is on the 5-minute time frame. So here was that first touch of the level, and now it's just trading sideways. You had this push into the level, a bunch of wick rejections, back into the level, big momentum candle, push back up, 2 wick rejections. So I took a sell stop. I don't think this is completely accurate where this is. I think, you know, this is a little bit further out this way, but either way, right after. So actually, I remember this trade. So, you know, it was really early in the morning. Like I said, I'm here in California, so this was like 4 a.m. I set this trade up, and then I went to go make myself breakfast. And when I came back, boom, take profit. It was a beautiful thing. And last trade I'll share with you guys. So clear downtrend. Usually I take sells, by the way. I usually never take buys. For some reason, sells just, I see them better than I do buys, even though it's just the reverse. But yeah, my eyes just attract to sells. So I don't know why I took this trade looking at it now. So you do have a downtrend. Here's your lower high, lower low, lower high, thinking, you know, theoretically this is going to make a lower low, but it's trapped in this range. I would have liked to see this come up a little bit higher into this level, show some bullish pressure depletion on the lower time frame, start to push down. Then I would have looked for my entry. So hourly, this is just in a range. Wick rejection, I mean, this trade isn't a horrible trade. It could have been a winner, but it's not my style of trading. So into the 5-minute chart, you have the push, exhaustion, push, and it's just not able to break this level here. So I thought, you know, okay, hopefully it has a push phase down. And then it did push down a little bit and came up, hit my stop loss. So with this, I use a trading panel that kind of, you know, manages to trade for me. And this should have been a break even. I don't know why it didn't go to break even, because that's, you know, how I have it set up. But maybe because of the spreads. So unfortunately, this was a stop loss.
Alright guys, thank you for watching my video. I'm still trying to figure out the structure of what's this going to be. I think it's going to be, you know, every week I'm going to go over all my trades, wins, losses, go over my percent that I've made or lost, and all the trades I did take. I'm gonna go through my mindset, why I took the trades, and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully you guys get some value out of it. Okay, guys, that sums up the video. Thanks for watching. I plan to be making a video every week. I'm gonna be logging all my trades. I'm gonna have like usually I put the actual, the physical. Usually I'll take screenshots, of my trade setups from the 4 hour, 1 hour, and then my entry time frame either being the 15-minute, 10-minute, or 5-minute chart, and I put it in like a PowerPoint. I take screenshots, put it in a PowerPoint, write down my notes. So maybe I'll start presenting those out weekly, or I'll just go straight into TradingView and put it in replay mode and break down my trades that way. And hopefully you guys could get some benefit out of it. Hopefully you guys could learn something. I'll go over why I took the trade, my mindset behind it, my strategy, my risk amount, and yeah. So I'll be hopefully making content every week. FTMO is gonna hopefully open up a lot of doors for me. I could slowly start transitioning away from my day job, spend more time at home day trading, making content, and start a business, man. So that's the goal for me. Thank you guys again for watching. It's been a pleasure. See you again.